the first thing you do in any situation, whether it is how do we go from the current state to 2025, where we're going to have, double the load or more, who knows what the real volumes will be, or in the case of the City of Louisville Police Department, where you need to have chain of custody handled, and now you've got mountains of tape that has to be stored somewhere. It's just not scalable down the road. You've got an issue that you have to identify and then assess, and you've got to fix it. Okay? Next, you move into the point of, all right, now I have to figure out how I'm going to pay for that. What's the color of money? Am I going to budget for it over years and then go acquire? Am I going to try to get it all in one fell swoop in one big grant and pay for it all up front? Or am I going to maybe go a little bit out of the box and look at other alternatives like a service-based contract? More and more what we're seeing in the federal government, but absolutely at the state and local level, is infrastructure as a service that says you are good at certain things, and your industry or your agency's charter says we will do this, protect and defend, move and create commerce, those type things. But I would challenge anybody in the organizations that you represent here to show me a mission statement that says, and we're going to own a huge data center to provide for all of that. Reality is you need to use the technology. You don't need to own all of it. So I'm going to talk to you in a little bit about that purple circle there and one of the flexibilities that I think it'll give you. We believe we've cracked the code on implementing these kind of solutions and giving you access to that, the grant funding and the budgeting that you do have available to you to do all of this technology when you want, not in logical chunks of 3 or 4 years, whatever the case is. So then the next phase, if you move past, okay, we figured out how we're going to pay for it and in what form. The next phase you'd move into is, all right, we have to take the technology that we've decided up in the first phase, that we've now paid for in the second phase, and we have to get it integrated and then go ahead and implement. We have to deploy it in our environment. Oftentimes that involves dealing with legacy systems, thinking forward to say, all right, what do we want to do to scale going forward, and how do we build that avenue into the current project so we haven't, again, built another island that's not usable down the road that needs to be torn down. So let's say you successfully move through that. Now, again, whatever you've consumed, now the engineers who built that have either moved on to something else or they've packed up their tools and gone on to another project. Now you have to actually get it to work consistently the way you designed it. It's got to meet the spec. It's got to meet the service level. Your department or your organization has to keep it working, right? And that phase, this really does kind of an equal or a linear type of an approach to every phase is equal. The reality is I think you'll see that green phase down there is probably the majority of the life cycle. You've got to keep it up and running, and that involves things like maintenance contracts. That involves available help desk or help options if you need them. That involves on-site people to augment your staff, not replace, but augment the good, strong technical people that you have in the agencies that you represent today. Then after you've gotten that, at some point, you're going to get to the point where you say, you know what was really cool or really new or state-of-the-art X years ago or X period of time ago is no longer the current. There's a new technology available, and I want it, or I need it, or I can use it. It'll help me with the conviction rate on, X, move up the chain. It'll help more commerce move in and out of the port, whatever the case is. So when you want to take advantage of that, how do you go about doing that? And how does that depend on the other parts of the wheel there? So now you've tackled that issue. This is the great part at the end there is, what do you do with the old stuff, right? If I said to everybody, raise your hand if you've got that closet or the Connex behind your building or the tractor trailer with a padlock that nobody's allowed in, that if you opened it up, what you'll find is a bunch of old CRTs, a bunch of old chassis for PCs, a bunch of old hardware. Because the reality is agencies don't dispose of old things very, very well. It's either because there's sensitive information on it, either because, that's, again, not our business. We just kind of let that stuff stack up, and eventually we destroy it in bulk, and we never really get anything for it. That, you could probably take issue with maybe how we've segmented it, but I think we would all agree if I asked you to vote that, all right, that kind of does describe the life cycle of anything that we're going to go implement.